The first wine that we're going to have a look at is Castle Ridge. Castle Ridge comes from northeast Victoria. It's a large volume produced wine. Here we have the brand name, underneath the vintage year, the grape varieties, which is Shiraz, Malbec and Mourvedre, and the appellation, which in this case, the district where the grapes are grown is southeast Australia. But that means that the grapes were actually grown anywhere from Mudgee all the way through to South Australia. It's a big appellation, but it's a blended wine and very, very good drinking. This is a Shiraz that was grown in Swan Hill, and some material actually came from Great Western. And so the appellation, or the area that it's designated from, is simply called Victoria. And then the grape variety is Shiraz. So we know, the consumer knows, that this wine comes from anywhere in Victoria. The next particular wine we come across is from Coriol, and it's got a sub-brand. It's called Lullarook, which is the brand name that Coriol gives this particular group of wines. It's clearly marked as being from McLaren Vale. It's a Semillon, which is the grape variety. It's got the vintage year on it. It's got the particular alcohol level and its contents. From there on we move across to Clare, where we have St Ignatius from the Clare Valley. And it's made from the Cabernet family, and it specifically indicates that it's got Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc and Malbec in it, and it also lists the percentages of each of the grape varieties on the front label. Here we have a classic Australian wine, Chateau Rhinella. It's a pretty simple label, and a couple of vintages later we have the marketing guys moving in and they want to fiddle around and change the label. This happens a lot with Australian labels. So this is the new upmarket Rhinella. The price of course has moved from about $14 odd to $30. The packaging is part of the reason. One of the all-time classic wines is the Wynns Hermitage. It's no longer called Hermitage, it's called Shiraz. This is the wine that I started my drinking career on. I was at university and enjoyed bottles of this with T-bone steaks. This is a classic Australian label design. Simple, straightforward, internationally recognisable everywhere. To this very day, some 30 odd years later, the design has only been slightly modified. Because of our relationships with our European trading partners, we no longer call the wine Hermitage, we in fact now call it Shiraz. So we see instead of Hermitage, the Shiraz name appearing. Australian wine companies are very, very aggressive, and they love going through the show circuits and putting their wines in shows and winning gold medals. And if you've won a gold medal, why not tout it? And this is D'Arenberg Dead Arm Shiraz. It's won a squillion gold medals and trophies, and they're telling the world about it. And of course, the most famous Australian wine label, Penfolds Grange Hermitage. This is unchanged since virtually it started. It's one of the all-time classics. It's the international icon that Australian wines and international wines can be judged against.